Welcome to the Sleepy Christian, and tonight we will be talking about God's promises, soothing truths to ease your night and calm your heart. As you settle into your bed, let your body relax and your mind begin to quiet. Take a deep breath, and another. Wherever you are in the world, whether you're listening in a quiet room in the city, a peaceful countryside home, or somewhere in between, we're so glad you're here. Where are you listening from tonight? Let that thought drift away as we begin. You are not alone. You are safe. And tonight we'll walk slowly through 10 beautiful promises of God, each one a soft whisper of peace for your soul. Are you tired? Not just physically, but deeply, inwardly tired? The kind of tired that sleep alone doesn't fix, the kind that lives in your soul. Maybe your body aches from a long day, but it's your heart that feels truly heavy. You've been carrying so much, thoughts that won't quiet down, responsibilities that pile up, fears that sneak into the corners of your mind when everything else goes still. There's a promise, ancient and gentle, spoken by Jesus himself. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Not just sleep, rest. Soul-deep peace that doesn't come from having all the answers, but from finally not having to carry everything alone. He's not calling the strongest or the most put together. He's not calling those who have it all figured out. He's calling the weary, the ones who are just trying to make it through another day, the ones who are smiling on the outside but feel like they're breaking inside, the ones who feel like they're barely hanging on. If that's you, then this promise is for you. You are exactly the person he had in mind when he spoke those words. He knew you'd come to this moment, lying in bed, feeling the weight of everything you're holding. And he isn't asking you to fix it. He's simply asking you to come. Close your eyes. Let your body melt into your bed. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. Think of every burden you've carried today, every worry, every fear, every moment you felt alone or overwhelmed. And now imagine laying those things down, one by one, letting them slip from your shoulders, down into his hands. He can hold them. He's not overwhelmed by your pain or your doubt or your mess. He welcomes it. He welcomes you, not the polished version of you, not the one who knows the right words to pray or the one who keeps everything together, but the real you, the tired, stretched thin, quietly struggling you. That's the one he wants to embrace. This rest he offers isn't earned. It's not a reward for doing enough. It's a gift freely given to those who dare to come to him, even in their exhaustion, even in their silence, even when they don't know what to say. You can come to him with nothing but a sigh, and he will meet you there. Right now, in the quiet of your room, he is near, closer than your breath, and he is whispering, "You don't have to carry this alone anymore, and let me hold you. Let me give you rest." Picture it, a safe place where you're fully known and deeply loved. No pressure to perform, no expectations to meet. Just peace, just presence, just the steady, loving arms of a God who never sleeps and never grows tired of you. You're allowed to breathe deeply here. You're allowed to let go. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to figure it all out before you rest. His rest comes first. Healing comes after. As the night wraps itself around your home, let that truth wrap around your heart. You are invited to rest, not because everything is finished, not because you've reached some perfect place, but because he is enough. And in him, you are safe. The burdens you carried today, he saw everyone. The thoughts racing through your mind right now, he understands them more deeply than you do, and he still says, "Come, come, and I will give you rest." Let those words echo gently as your breathing slows. Come, come to me. Rest is not far away. It is here, it is now, and it is yours. Have you ever felt forgotten? Like you're walking through life unseen, unnoticed, maybe even unloved? You could be surrounded by people, busy with work, family, or endless noise, and still feel isolated. like your heart is drifting somewhere no one can reach. There are moments, sometimes late at night, when the world feels quiet and cold, and the silence only reminds you of how alone you feel. But in those very moments, there is a promise so powerful, so deeply personal, that it cuts through even the darkest night. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. Let those words sink in. Not might not, not probably won't, never. That is the voice of your Creator, the one who formed you in the secret place, the one who knows your thoughts before you speak. He doesn't leave, he doesn't abandon, he stays. People may walk away, friends may forget, loved ones may not always understand, but God, he never leaves. His presence doesn't flicker with your emotions. It doesn't change with your performance. It isn't stronger on your good days and weaker on your bad ones. He isn't impressed by perfection or scared off by your struggles. He stays because he loves you, fully, faithfully, endlessly, even when you feel distant, even when you've made mistakes, even when shame whispers that you've gone too far. He doesn't move away from you in those moments. He moves closer. Imagine this. You're walking through a long, winding path, uncertain of where it's leading. Maybe the trail has grown dark. Maybe you've lost your sense of direction. But if you stop and listen, you'll hear the footsteps beside you. You'll notice the steady presence walking with you, not ahead of you, not behind you, with you. That is the heart of this promise. God is not watching you from a distance, waiting to see what you'll do. He is walking every step beside you, closer than the air around you. Whether you feel him or not, he is near. You may wonder, how can that be true? How can someone like me, with all my doubts, my mess, my questions, still be worthy of such closeness? But his nearness isn't based on your worthiness. It's based on his love. And his love doesn't waver. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't hold back. There has never been a moment in your life, not one single breath, where God looked away from you. Not even once. And there never will be. You could travel to the highest mountaintop or sink to the lowest depths, and still, he would be there. Not just present, but tenderly watching over you, protecting you, guiding you. When you lie awake at night, with your mind racing, when no one else knows what you're going through, when you've run out of words to pray, he is still there. You don't have to feel him for him to be close. You don't have to see evidence for him to be faithful. His presence is promised, not earned, and his promises don't fail. Let your soul breathe in that assurance tonight. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible. Even in the moments where everything feels quiet and empty, he's whispering to you, I'm still here. Right now, in the stillness of your room, in the quiet beating of your heart, he is sitting with you, watching over you, holding you in a love that will never let go. He doesn't tire of being near you. He doesn't grow weary of your struggles. He isn't looking for a reason to leave. He's looking for every reason to remind you that he never will. So tonight, as your body relaxes and your thoughts begin to drift, rest in that truth. You don't need to fight for his attention. You already have it. You don't need to ask him to stay. He already promised he would. Let the assurance of his presence wrap around you like a soft covering, gentle and warm. You are not walking through life alone. You are never truly alone. Even now, as you listen, as you breathe, he is with you, and he always will be. Have you ever had a moment when everything on the outside seemed calm, but inside, your mind was racing, your chest was tight, and your heart felt restless? Or maybe it's the opposite. Everything around you is chaotic, loud, uncertain, and it's overwhelming. Like you can't find a single quiet place to stand. We all have storms, some visible, some hidden, and in the middle of them, we long for something steady, something quiet, something that brings peace. Not just any peace, but the kind the Bible talks about in Philippians 4:7, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, and will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. It's not the kind of peace you find by scrolling through your phone, or tying up loose ends, or organizing everything in your life just right. This peace comes from somewhere deeper. It's not tied to circumstances. It doesn't depend on everything going well. It's a peace that doesn't make sense to the world, and yet it's real, and it's available to you right now, in this moment, exactly as you are. It's easy to think that peace is something you have to chase, that it comes once you've solved the problem, once the diagnosis is reversed, once the relationship is mended, once the bank account is secure, once the future looks more certain. But the peace God offers isn't delayed. It's not behind some locked door that only opens when life is perfect. It's present, it's now, it's Jesus, standing in the middle of the storm with you, saying, "Peace, be still." And when he speaks, even the winds and waves obey. Not just the winds and waves around you, but the ones inside of you too. The ones that swirl in your thoughts, the ones that tug at your emotions, the ones that keep you from sleeping at night. So take a breath, and then take another. Let the worries of today fall away, even if just for a little while. Let the tension in your body begin to release. You don't have to strive in this moment. You don't have to earn your way into peace. You are being invited to receive it, like a gift, like cool water on a hot day, like silence after a long, loud road. The peace of God is not a feeling you have to fake. It's a presence you can trust. And that presence is Jesus. He doesn't just bring peace, he is peace. Wherever he is, peace is. And if you've given your life to him, then he lives within you. That means peace is not far off. It's already inside of you, even when it feels buried beneath the noise. There may be fears on your mind right now, fears about the future, worries about your family, regrets about the past. God doesn't ignore those things. He doesn't tell you to pretend they're not there. Instead, he gently says, "Bring them to me. Don't carry them alone. Don't let them keep you up tonight. Don't let them become your companions in the dark. Let me be your peace. Let me be your comfort. Let me be your God." That's what Philippians 4 promises. Not only peace, but protection. The peace of God will guard your heart and your mind, like a shelter around your most vulnerable places, like a wall that keeps fear and anxiety from breaking through. You don't have to protect yourself. You have a defender. You don't have to stay on high alert. He's already watching over you. There is something healing that happens when you choose to let go, not because the problem has gone away, but because you trust the one who holds it all. That kind of trust unlocks peace, a peace that reminds you, God sees more than you do. He knows the end from the beginning. He knows what tomorrow holds. He hasn't lost control. He hasn't forgotten you. And he hasn't stopped working, even when you can't see it. So tonight, instead of trying to figure everything out in your head, you can rest. You can surrender the need to understand everything. You can close your eyes knowing that the one who understands it all is holding you. And he's not letting go. Let the room grow quiet now. Let your breathing slow. Let your thoughts wander to safe places, not to what ifs, but to what is. You are loved, you are seen, you are heard, and you are held by perfect peace. A peace that defies logic. A peace that rises above the storm. A peace that doesn't ask you to be strong, but invites you to be still. So be still. Let your soul settle. Let your heart be guarded by something stronger than fear. Let the peace of Christ be your shelter tonight. Not just for a moment, but for as long as you need. He will stay. His peace will stay. And you, beloved, can finally rest. There's something deeply personal and powerful about being known. To be seen for who you really are. Not just the version you show to the world, but the quiet, inner you that most people never get to meet. The thoughts you never speak aloud. The memories that still ache. The dreams you barely dare to whisper. We spend so much of life wondering if anyone truly sees us, if anyone really understands. Maybe you've felt invisible, even in a crowded room. Maybe you've smiled and nodded your way through conversations. while inside you were carrying something no one could name. Maybe you've wondered, if people really knew you, really knew what goes on in your heart, would they still stay? But then God speaks, and what he says changes everything. I have called you by name. You are mine, not just a number, not just a face in the crowd, not just another person among billions. You are known, and not in some distant, generalized way, but intimately, tenderly, by name. Think about that for a moment. Your name, the name that carries your history, your story, your identity. God doesn't just know it, he speaks it with love, with gentleness, with joy. Long before you spoke your first word, long before you took your first breath, he already knew your name. He already claimed you as his. He already delighted in who you were becoming. And now, even after everything life has thrown your way, the wounds, the doubts, the regrets, he still calls you by name, not in anger, not in disappointment, but with love. He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't turned away. He sees everything about you, even the parts you try to hide, and he still says, "You are mine." It's easy to believe that God loves people in general, that he loves the world, that he loves the church, that he loves humanity. But sometimes it's harder to believe that he loves you, just you, individually, specifically, personally. But that's exactly what this promise says. You are not just part of a crowd he died for. You are a soul he sees. You are a name he treasures. You are a life he handcrafted with intention. Every part of you, every detail, matters to him. The way your eyes light up when you laugh, the quiet strength you carry, the gentle way you care for others, the tears you've cried in secret, the things you wish were different, the parts of your story that still feel unresolved. He knows it all, and he's not backing away. In Isaiah 43, when God says, "You are mine," it's not just a claim, it's a comfort. He's saying, you belong, you are secure, you are protected, you are loved. In a world that constantly makes you prove your worth, where acceptance often feels conditional, here is a love that needs no performance. You don't have to earn your place in his heart. You don't have to impress him. You don't have to clean yourself up first. He already chose you. He already called you. And he isn't changing his mind. Tonight, as you rest your head and let the world slow down around you, try to picture him saying your name, not hurried, not cold, but with warmth, with affection, with pride, the way a loving father says the name of his beloved child, the way someone speaks the name of someone they miss, someone they cherish. That's how he sees you. That's how he's always seen you. Your name is written on his heart, and nothing can erase it. Even when life feels uncertain, even when people let you down, even when you struggle to love yourself, he remains. His voice doesn't falter. His love doesn't fade. He doesn't call you by your failures. He doesn't define you by your past. He doesn't label you by your lowest moments. He calls you by name. And when he does, he also calls you beloved, forgiven, chosen, held, worthy, redeemed. He says, "You are mine," not as a demand, but as a reassurance, a whisper of comfort to your tired soul, a gentle reminder that you are not lost, you are not forgotten, you are not too far gone, you are his. So as the night stretches on and your breathing slows, let your heart lean into that truth. You are known, you are wanted, you are seen, you belong. There is no version of you that is outside the reach of his love, no part of your story that is beyond his understanding. Let your soul be still in that. Let your mind settle, knowing that there is nothing more to prove, nothing more to achieve tonight. You are already loved, fully, unconditionally, eternally, and you are called by name. You are his. Sometimes life doesn't make sense. You look back at the road you've walked, and it's a twisting path of highs and lows, joy and heartbreak, laughter and tears. There are chapters you wish you could relive, and others you wish you could erase. Maybe right now you're standing in the middle of one of those chapters that just feels confusing, painful, or unfinished. Maybe it's a season you never saw coming, a closed door, a shattered dream, a diagnosis, a goodbye you weren't ready for. And in those moments, it's so easy to wonder if anything good could possibly come from the mess, if there's a purpose to the pain, or if your story has drifted off course. But then comes this promise, tucked into Romans 8:28, a promise so bold and so steady, it's like a lifeline thrown into the chaos. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Not some things, not just the pretty, easy parts, all things. That means the things you celebrate and the things you grieve. The moments that take your breath away with happiness and the moments that leave you breathless with sorrow. The seasons that felt like a gift and the seasons that felt like a loss. Nothing is outside his reach. Nothing is wasted in his hands. It's not that everything that happens to you is good. Sometimes it's far from it. But the promise is that God weaves purpose, redemption, and beauty through every thread, even the darkest ones. He is the master artist, painting with every color, shaping your life into something meaningful and beautiful, even when you can't see it yet. Maybe right now, in the quiet of this night, you're holding some pieces that don't fit. Regrets about the past, fears about the future, questions with no easy answers. Maybe you're wondering how any of it could possibly work together for good. But God sees the bigger picture, the one your eyes can't see right now. He's not limited by time. He knows how this story ends, and he is already at work, turning the soil of your pain into the soil of new beginnings. He's already gathering every broken piece and making something whole. Sometimes you catch glimpses of it, a conversation that brings unexpected healing, a season of loss that deepens your compassion, a challenge that makes you stronger than you ever imagined. Other times, the good he's working is hidden, slow, unfolding silently in ways you can't see or measure. Trust isn't easy when you're in the middle of the storm, but even when you can't trace his hand, you can trust his heart. He is for you. He is with you. He is always working, even in the waiting, even in the wondering, even in the wrestling. He's never done writing your story, and nothing is too broken, too lost, or too hard for him to redeem. You don't have to understand how it will all come together. You just have to trust the one who does. Let that promise settle deep in your heart tonight. Let it quiet the anxious questions that rise up in the dark. Let it remind you that God is present in your pain, not absent from it. He is close to the brokenhearted. He collects every tear, and he weaves every sorrow, every triumph, every ordinary day into something eternally good. His good may not always look like what you imagined, but it's always better than you could dream. It's peace in the middle of chaos. It's hope when things feel hopeless. It's the gentle assurance that nothing in your life is wasted and nothing in your story is outside his love. Tonight, release your grip on needing all the answers. Let go of trying to fit the puzzle pieces together yourself. You don't have to see the end to know the one who holds it. You can rest knowing that every chapter, even this one, is being shaped by a loving hand. You can trust that he's turning even your deepest pain into a foundation for something new. The story isn't over. The best is still being written. And in all things, God is working for your good. Rest in that hope. Rest in that promise. Let your heart be comforted, knowing that you are being carried, guided, and loved every step, every moment, every breath, every night as darkness falls and the world grows quiet. It's easy to replay the day in your mind. Maybe you catch yourself thinking about every mistake, every sharp word you wish you could take back, every opportunity you let slip away. Maybe you're haunted by the weight of things undone, words unsaid, or the pressure of all the things waiting for you tomorrow. Sometimes the heaviness of yesterday tries to follow you into your rest, filling the quiet with worries and regrets. But then comes a gentle, faithful truth. God's mercies are new every morning. Each sunrise is a fresh page, a holy reset, a loving invitation to start again. No matter how yesterday ended or what happened today, you're not trapped in your past. You are not defined by your worst moments. You are not stuck in the patterns that try to hold you captive. When you wake, God's mercy will meet you with arms wide open, ready to wrap you in grace and hope. It's easy to think that mercy is something you have to earn, like a reward for getting it right or holding everything together. But that's not the way God works. His mercy isn't a prize for the perfect. It's a gift for the weary, the broken, the honest, and the real. It's for those who have tried and failed, for those who carry regrets, for those who wish they could turn back time. Mercy is God looking at you and saying, "You are forgiven, you are loved, you are not your mistakes." Every morning, He gives you another chance, another moment, another beginning, no matter how many times you feel you've fallen short. No matter how many nights you go to bed with a heavy heart, morning will come, and so will His mercy. You don't have to wait until you have it all figured out. You don't have to fix everything tonight. All you have to do is receive it. Take a breath and let your heart rest in the truth that you are allowed to begin again. Imagine waking up tomorrow, sunlight gently filling your room, and before you even open your eyes, God's mercy is already there, waiting for you. It's not rationed or held back. It's new, just for you, just for today. Yesterday's mercy was enough for yesterday, but today's mercy is fresh and overflowing. It covers every worry, every fear, every shortcoming. It invites you to stand up, dust yourself off, and move forward in hope. You can leave yesterday where it belongs, behind you. There's no shame so deep, no failure so great that His mercy can't cover it. You don't have to carry the burdens of the past into the promise of a new day. You can walk in freedom, knowing that you are loved exactly as you are, and that nothing you have done can separate you from His grace. Let that hope fill your heart tonight as you drift towards sleep. Instead of rehearsing what went wrong, let your mind linger on what is true. You are loved, forgiven, and invited to start again. God's mercy is not a one-time gift. It is daily, endless, unchanging. He is not keeping score or holding your past against you. He is for you, cheering you on, ready to meet you in the morning with kindness and understanding. No matter how long your list of regrets, His mercy is longer. No matter how deep your sense of failure, His grace runs deeper still. You're not running out of chances with God. You are stepping into new ones, every single morning, wrapped in the light of His love. So let go of the worries that try to follow you into sleep. Release the weight of old mistakes and the anxiety of unfinished things. Let tomorrow's mercy be tomorrow's gift. Tonight, you can simply rest. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to replay every scene or right every wrong before you sleep. You can lie down in peace, knowing that when you rise, God's mercy will rise with you, fresh, strong, and more than enough. Sleep in the confidence that you are not defined by your past, but by God's endless love and relentless mercy, brand new with each day's dawn. There is a special kind of comfort that comes from knowing you are cared for, watched over, and guided by someone who loves you more than you can imagine. When you hear the words, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," it paints a picture of perfect provision and gentle leadership. A God who doesn't stand far off, but draws close and walks with you every step of your journey. Imagine for a moment a shepherd in a quiet field at dusk, calling each sheep by name, making sure everyone is safe, fed, and sheltered. There is no hurry, no chaos, just steady, faithful presence. The shepherd's eyes are always scanning the horizon, always watching, always ready to step in if trouble comes. You are not just another face in the crowd or a forgotten traveler on the road. To God, you are precious, valuable, and worthy of His care. As your good shepherd, God knows every twist and turn your path will take. He's already in tomorrow, preparing a way for you. He leads you beside still waters and into green pastures, not only when life is easy, but especially when you feel tired or lost. He knows when you need to rest, and he invites you to lie down, not with anxiety or striving, but with trust and peace. Sometimes the world can feel harsh and overwhelming, full of noise, demands, and expectations. It's easy to feel like you have to keep moving, keep performing, keep earning your place. But your shepherd gently slows your pace. He asks you to lie down in places of safety, to drink deeply from the quiet waters of his love, to let your soul be restored. He doesn't rush your healing or force your journey. He walks at your side, matching your steps, never leaving you behind. He guides you along right paths, sometimes through open meadows, sometimes through valleys shadowed by fear and uncertainty. There may be moments when the way ahead feels dark, when your heart is heavy, or when you don't know what tomorrow holds. But even in the valley of the shadow of death, you have no reason to fear evil, because your shepherd is with you. His rod and his staff, symbols of his protection and guidance, are always in his hands. He uses them to guard you from harm, to gently correct your course when you wander, and to draw you close when you feel alone. You may not always see the path, but you can always trust the one who leads you. He doesn't grow tired or impatient with your questions, your struggles, or your slow progress. His love is steadfast, his patience is endless, and his commitment to your well-being never wavers. Even when you find yourself surrounded by difficulties, facing enemies within and without, your shepherd prepares a table before you, a place of abundance and blessing right in the middle of trouble. He anoints your head with oil, soothing your wounds and refreshing your spirit. Your cup overflows, not just with material things, but with the assurance of his presence and the richness of his grace. Goodness and mercy are not just distant hopes. They are the companions he sends to follow you all the days of your life. Every day, whether you are aware of it or not, you are being pursued by his kindness and watched over by his love. At night, when shadows gather and the world grows silent, you are not alone in the darkness. Your shepherd is awake, watching over you, guarding your dreams, standing between you and anything that would harm your soul. You can lay down and rest, knowing you are safe within his fold. His promises are your shelter, his presence is your peace. Even as you close your eyes, his care does not end. He whispers over you words of comfort and hope, reminding you that you belong to him, that you are treasured beyond measure, and that nothing can snatch you from his hand. Let your soul breathe in the peace that comes from being shepherded by the one who knows you best and loves you most. You don't have to make it on your own. You don't have to map out every step or solve every problem before you can rest. You are allowed to lean back and trust that you are being led, protected, and provided for. The Good Shepherd never loses sight of even one sheep, not even you. In the quiet of this night, as you drift towards sleep, remember that you are surrounded by his care, guided by his wisdom, and held close to his heart. You shall not want, you shall not fear. You are safe, you are loved, and you are home. There is something beautiful and sacred about being heard. Deep down, every soul longs to know that their voice matters, that their words are not lost in the vastness of the world, that even in their most vulnerable moments, they are not speaking into emptiness. So often, life can make you feel unheard or misunderstood. Maybe you've tried to share your heart with someone, only to be met with distraction or silence, left wondering if anyone truly cares about what you're feeling or fearing or hoping. But there is one who is always listening, whose attention never drifts, whose heart is always open to you. God promises that when you pray, he hears you. Not sometimes, not just on your best days or when you find the perfect words, every time, in every season, even when all you can manage is a whisper or a sigh. Imagine for a moment that every prayer you've ever prayed, every quiet plea in the middle of the night, every cry for help, every wordless ache has reached the heart of God. Not one has been lost or ignored. When you bow your head or turn your thoughts toward Him, you are met with perfect attention, complete compassion, and a listening ear that will never grow tired of your voice. You don't have to use the right phrases or impress Him with eloquence. Sometimes your most honest prayers are the ones you never speak aloud. Maybe they are tears that fall quietly on your pillow, or hopes that rise up in the silence. God hears it all. He is attentive to every detail, moved by every need, and deeply invested in every part of your story. There is no situation too small, no burden too heavy, and no feeling too complicated for Him to understand. He knows the groanings of your spirit before you even try to put them into words. When your heart is heavy and words fail you, His Spirit intercedes on your behalf with sighs too deep for words. You are never too far gone, never too broken, never too lost for your prayers to find their way to Him. Even if your prayers feel weak or uncertain, even if you pray the same thing again and again, He listens patiently, lovingly, without judgment or frustration. Your prayers matter because you matter. Sometimes answers come quickly and clearly, and your heart soars with gratitude. Other times, the waiting feels long and silent, and doubts begin to creep in. You may wonder if He really heard you, if your voice reached beyond the ceiling, if your requests are too ordinary or too messy for divine concern, but the promise remains unchanged. God hears you. He stores your tears in a bottle, counts every one, and treasures every word you entrust to Him. Even when the answers are slow, even when silence stretches on, your prayers are working in unseen ways. God is always at work, shaping hearts, moving mountains, aligning moments, comforting souls, opening doors that you cannot yet see. There is something healing that happens when you pray, not just because your circumstances may change, but because you are reminded that you are not alone. Prayer is a place of communion where your deepest needs and desires are met with a love that is patient and kind. It is the place where you can be fully yourself, unfiltered, unafraid, unashamed, because God delights in your honesty. He already knows your heart, but He loves when you bring it to Him. There is no shame in coming back to Him with the same requests, with the same fears, with the same dreams. He never grows weary of your voice. In fact, He invites you to come boldly, to keep asking, to keep seeking, to keep knocking, knowing that He is a good Father who longs to give good gifts to His children. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, let your heart find comfort in this truth. Your prayers are heard, even if you have no words. Even if all you can offer is your presence, God is listening. You can talk to Him about anything, your hopes, your disappointments, your joys, your struggles. Nothing is too trivial or too overwhelming for Him. Let your prayers rise up, free and unfiltered, knowing they are treasured and received by a God who loves you more than you can imagine. There is no distance too great, no darkness too deep, no night too long for your prayers to reach Him. So let yourself breathe deeply, surrendering your thoughts and cares to the One who always hears. Know that you are never alone in your prayers. You are being held, understood, and cared for by the very One who made you. Trust that even now, as you lie in the quiet of your room, your heart is connected to His. Rest in the assurance that every word, every whisper, every hope you share with Him is precious and powerful. You are heard, you are loved, and you are never, ever alone. There's a deep need in every human heart for a place of safety, a shelter to run to when the storms of life become overwhelming, a place to rest when fear or uncertainty presses in from every side. Maybe you've felt those storms, the kind that leave you feeling exposed, vulnerable, and small. Sometimes it's the unexpected news that shakes your world, the worry that creeps in after dark, the memories that replay in your mind no matter how hard you try to forget, or the anxieties that swirl quietly, hidden behind your daily routine. In those moments, you long for a refuge, a place where nothing can reach you, where you are protected, known, and held. That's the promise found in Psalm 46. 1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Not a distant help, not a conditional help, but a present help. He is with you right now, right here, exactly where you are. Picture a mighty fortress, walls thick and unbreakable, a safe haven that cannot be shaken by anything on the outside. That's the kind of safety God offers you. He is your stronghold, your hiding place, your place of security. When fear rises up, when doubt tries to take hold, when it feels like the world is pressing in too close, you have a place to run, a place where you can breathe, gather your strength, and find your peace again. You're not left to face the battles of life alone. You don't have to pretend to be unbreakable or face every challenge with a brave face. You have permission to be honest about your need, your fear, and your pain, because God invites you to take shelter in Him. There is no storm too fierce, no night too long, no pain too deep for His refuge. You can come as you are, tired, worn out, confused, or afraid. You don't have to have the answers. You don't have to know how it will all work out. All you have to do is come. He opens His arms wide and gathers you close, shielding you from the worst of the storm, surrounding you with His love and comfort. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. When you feel like you've run out of options or energy, that's when His strength shines brightest. He lifts you up, holds you steady, and whispers reassurance into the places where your heart feels fragile. Sometimes refuge looks like peace in the middle of chaos, a quiet assurance that you are not alone, no matter what is happening around you. Sometimes it's a gentle reminder in the stillness that you are fiercely loved and fiercely defended. God is not far off, waiting for you to get it all together before you come running. He is with you, closer than your breath, ready to hold you steady when your world is shaking, even if you feel lost or unseen, even if your prayers feel small or your faith feels weak. He remains your ever-present help. You are never an inconvenience to Him. Your need is not too much. Your pain is not too complicated. He is endlessly patient, infinitely strong, and always ready to draw near. When life feels unpredictable and you don't know what tomorrow will bring, God's refuge does not change. His promises hold firm. His protection is real. You can rest in His strength when yours has run out, knowing that He is fighting for you, interceding on your behalf, and working all things for your good. There is a peace that comes from knowing you don't have to be in control. You can surrender, let go, and be held. You can bring your deepest worries, your greatest fears, your sharpest grief, and lay them down at His feet. You don't have to carry it all alone. You were never meant to. Tonight, as you settle into the quiet, let yourself imagine being wrapped in a shelter that nothing can penetrate, a place where you are known, seen, and safe. Let God's presence be your refuge, your hiding place from every storm. Let His strength carry you where your own falls short. Allow yourself to rest, to be small, to let the weight of the day slip from your shoulders. His refuge is not a place you visit once in a lifetime. It's a home you are welcome in every single day, especially when life is hard. In Him, you find shelter. In Him, you find hope. In Him, you find strength for whatever comes next. So breathe easy. Let go of the fears that haunt you. Trust that you are surrounded, protected, and loved beyond measure. And as the night unfolds, may your soul rest deeply in the truth that you are safe, right here, right now, in the everlasting refuge of God. There is a love so deep, so constant, and so beyond human understanding that it cannot be measured, exhausted, or broken. It is the kind of love that has no beginning and no end, a love that was written into your story long before you took your first breath, and that will outlast every circumstance, every season, every moment of your life. God speaks this promise to you in gentle, unwavering words. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. This is not just a distant, cosmic feeling or an abstract idea meant for someone else. It is personal, intimate, and directed right at you. Even in the moments you doubt yourself, even in the moments you question your worth, even when you struggle to believe anyone could truly love you as you are, God's love remains. It does not fluctuate with your mood or disappear when you make mistakes. It is not diminished by your failures or dependent on your successes. It is steady, anchored in who God is, not in what you do. Imagine for a moment what everlasting love truly means. It's a love that has already accounted for every mistake, every fear, every change in your circumstances, and still stands strong. A love that cannot be worn down by time or distance or disappointment. It is patient when you're slow to learn, gentle when you're hurting, and persistent when you are tempted to run away. God's everlasting love is not only for the days when you feel worthy or spiritual or full of faith. It is for the days when you feel ordinary, tired, unremarkable, or even lost. It pursues you when you hide, finds you when you wander, and holds you when you can't hold on anymore. This love is the safest place you will ever know. You may have experienced love in this world that faded, changed, or left scars. Maybe people have let you down or walked away. Maybe you have felt abandoned or misunderstood, longing for a love that stays no matter what. God's everlasting love is the answer to every ache in your heart for real, lasting connection. It does not keep a record of your wrongs, nor does it get tired of forgiving you. When you feel unlovable, His love is not discouraged. When you feel like you have nothing left to give, His love is not disappointed. When you push Him away, His love is not offended. It quietly waits, drawing you back again and again with kindness and grace. There is nothing in your past, present, or future that could ever make God stop loving you. Not your fears, not your doubts, not your greatest failures or deepest wounds. He loved you at your very worst and will love you at your very best. He loves you when you are brave, and He loves you when you are scared. He loves you when you reach out in faith, and He loves you when you feel numb or uncertain. You do not have to work harder, try more, or become someone else to be loved by God. You simply have to be. His love is your truest home, your unshakable foundation, your greatest hope. When you think about the story of your life, let it be defined by the certainty that you are and always will be deeply loved. Let it comfort you on the nights when loneliness presses in, on the days when the world feels harsh or indifferent, on the mornings when you wake up unsure of who you are or where you're going. Let it heal the old wounds left by conditional love or broken trust. God's everlasting love is not only for you, it is for every part of you, even the parts you wish were different or hope to change someday. It is a love that celebrates your strengths and tenderly covers your weaknesses. As you drift towards sleep, let your mind rest in the truth that you are surrounded by a love that never gives up, never gives out, and never lets go. This love will pursue you every day of your life. It will rejoice over you with singing. It will fight for you when you are weary and speak life into you when you are discouraged. It will walk with you through every joy and every sorrow, every mountain and every valley, never losing interest, never losing patience, never leaving your side. There is nothing you can do to earn more of it, and nothing you can do to lose it. Tonight, as the world grows quiet and your thoughts begin to settle, imagine being held in arms that will never let you go. Feel the warmth and safety of being loved beyond your wildest imagination. Know that the love God has for you is stronger than anything you will ever face, deeper than any loneliness, brighter than any darkness. Let every doubt melt away in the presence of His everlasting love. Rest in the assurance that you are cherished, wanted, known, and forever held. Tomorrow, when a new day begins, that same love will go ahead of you, walk beside you, and carry you through. It will never end, never fade, and never fail. You are, and always will be, loved with an everlasting love. Sleep in that truth, safe and at peace, held by the God whose love will never let you go.